Oh, would you look at that long tail, beautiful tusks like a triceratops. That is a gorgeous dinosaur you've got there, Jen.
I think we can all agree that David doesn't know the difference between a dinosaur and a mastodon. So today, we're gonna paint up some actual dinosaurs, but not just normal dinosaurs, we're gonna paint space dinosaurs.
Truth! This video is sponsored by One Page Rules, and today we're gonna paint some of their awesome Saurian star host dinosaurs, just like this big beauty dino here.
Mastodon. It's a mastodon, not a dinosaur.
What's the difference again?
I decided to print a squad of the raptor riders, which are Aztec, I see what you did there, lizard folk from space riding on raptors clad in armor. It gives me a very 80s Dino Riders feel, which I grew up with and absolutely love. And no, I'm not quite that old, they were my brother's hand-me-down VHSs, but still old enough to have had hand-me-down VHSs. For these models and looking at Grimdark Futures rules, I said, damn it, I'll pay the points, and I bought them all spike guns. These remind me so much of Needlers from Halo, which I also grew up playing, and I couldn't pass up the opportunity to grab them. With them all set out and printed, they printed like a dream in a single run with no mistakes. Pulling off their supports was super easy. I just bathed them in some very nice hot water and they peeled away. And I only needed to use my knife for some minimal cleanup afterwards. Wow, look at that. That is a beautiful print. Literally peels away. Love that. So easy. With the models printed out and separated into their squad mates, I glued together the actual riders into one piece so we could separate it into two paint sub-assemblies. As Jen and I are both working on this project, I feel like one of us will paint the dinos and one will paint the riders. That way we can avoid any paint inconsistencies that could happen with one of us painting half the dinos and half the riders. And this way we'll have a nice cohesive look across the whole squad. Now, one area that contrast paints are absolutely amazing is on laying down coloration on areas of natural and organic texture, such as reptile skin. So for priming these models, I went with a contrast primer, and while we painted the armor panels traditionally and using neon paint everywhere else, I thought we could use contrast to establish some good foundations on those skins before moving on to dry brushing and highlighting.
Can you say dinosaur?
Dinosaur. No one will get what a dinosaur is. That's like a deep Oni Plays cut.
Of a break. I'm done with the base coat of all of my lizard men and Dave's done his dinosaurs, but I don't know where Dave has gone. He's not here anymore, so I think I'm gonna go have a look for him and find out where he is. I think that's him. What is he doing? What are you doing?
Oh, good timing, Jen. Just digging for dinosaurs. Get a good fossil in here. I reckon I got one just about to come out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I know my stuff.
Whoa!
Ain't she a beauty? This is one of them one-page rules dinosaurs. Well, a lizard riding a dinosaur.
If you haven't heard about One Page Rules, well, we are here to tell you today how awesome they are and what they have going on this month.
Someone say One Page Rules.
Yeah, I do.
I love One Page Rules. Absolutely fantastic. They've got not only a huge number of minis available every month for the low price of $10, but they've also got very nice game system that's easy to play and available for free on their website.
Tell me more, Dave.
Well, as you know, this month in August, we've got the Saurian star host. That's lizards on dinosaurs in space. No mammoths here.
Also included in this month is the War Demons and the Change Demons.
What? That's 3 armies?
Pretty good deal.
Best deal going around, I reckon. reckon.
So if you're super interested in the models that we are painting for today's video, you should definitely check them out.
And if you're tired of carrying 15 rulebooks to every single game, why don't you try Grimdark Future? It's a great way to play with some of your favorite sci-fi models. And if you're watching this video after the fact, or you just want to go back and get some of their great releases, just remember that One Page Rules patrons have a massive discount on their My Mini Factory, so you can pick up their previous releases at hugely reduced prices. All you got to do is go over to their Patreon and sign up today.
Links are in the description below.
So go print up some of those awesome giant dinos with rocket launchers on their shoulders and tell them Dave sent you.
So with all that being said and done, we have got some minis that we need to go start painting.
All right, giddy on up, let's go.
Hey.
So with all the contrast paints down and dried, it was time to start dry brushing these bad boys. For my little lizardy men that'd be sitting on top of the dinosaurs, I did their skin in a pale yellow and their scales in a brighter green. These models were super textured, so putting a dry brush on them would really bring out all of their beautiful scales. Once the skin and scales were done, it was time to pick out those little details. That included the claws and the mouth on the lizardmen. I wanted to go with a purple for their mouths instead of a pink because I knew that lizards don't have pink mouths. They've got purple mouths. And I wanted to give their claws a nice shade of grey so they were ready for the kill.
We picked grey for the teeth and claws because an ivory or bone-like colour would really blend in next to the soft sandy yellows of the dinosaurs and lizards' underbellies.
And it's time to move on to the gold.
Gold. Gold has played a very important part in Australia's history. Since prospector Edward Hargraves discovered gold near Orange in 1851, leading to a huge gold rush that shaped modern Australia. It was so profitable that people in Australia, the miners, began to import special Aztec dinosaurs to help transporting the heavy cargo. Now you don't learn that from your regular old boring history books. This is the real Aussie truth.
All right, let's actually get to talk about painting the gold on these models though. Much like our trial and error with going through the contrast paints, we did the same thing for the gold this time. We needed to find a good balance of gold that wouldn't wash the models out, but still look super effective.
A lot of the golds that have rich and warm red tones in them seem to blend in a little bit too much with the dark color on the dinosaur's hide. So ultimately we picked black gold by scale 75. This gold has nice rustic undertones and a darker, almost greeny feel to it. Painting metallic gold onto a white undercoat required 2 carefully applied thin coats across the whole model to get a solid color. And with that done, we could move on to the wash.
For washes, I went through a couple of different colors just to see what would fit the best. I was tossing up between a purple and a green, but ultimately went with the green because it fit with the palette that we had already.
The green shade, Coelia Green Shade by Citadel, also just felt right on these dinosaurs. And that green undertone really allows me to see these at home in a vibrant tropical jungle setting.
Once the washes were all dry, I went over the top with a layer highlight of black gold.
And with these sharp gold edges on, the models were really starting to come together. But this paint job is all about a special effect. Because these aren't just dinosaurs, they're space dinosaurs.
Space dinosaurs.
The Saurian star host are, of course, sci-fi themed, so it was time to add a little bit of sci-fi pop. And there would be no more appropriate way to do that than with fluorescent paint. Now, one of the reasons that neon dinosaurs are so closely related in Australia is due to the discoveries in the Simpson Desert, the great Aussie inland sea, where we found fossil records of dinosaur rave parties. Now, this was only theory based on fossil records until legendary archaeologist and entrepreneur John Hammond created his famous park. In that park, they cloned the dinosaurs, and we began to see that raving tendency for ourselves.
Hold on. John Hammond, that's a movie. Do you just get all your information from movies?
Nah, mate, it's all real. It's all real.
These fluoro paints are actually really cool. Once you shine a UV light on them, they really pop and look really cool on models. However, they are a bit on the thicker side, so you need to water them down and apply them in thin coats. I'd already previously done this on my Eve model for our roleplay session, so I kind of knew how to work with these, and you need to take your time with them.
And while I certainly think the novelty is interesting, I'm not sure how useful they are outside of showcasing them in YouTube videos. Unless you have lots of neon lighting in your local game store, I doubt the effect will be showing up very often. I tackled painting by using a bright green on all of the gold armor on the dinosaurs. I thought this would be a nice inverse of the green hide that Jen had painted the lizardman riders with. So I watered down and basically pin washed this fluorescent paint into all of the crevices on the model. I wanted these to look like they were powered by energy, sort of sci-fi armor. After this was done, I picked a bright orange, going for that impressive 80s synthwave vibe, and painted in all the visors of the dinosaurs with this amazing orange neon paint. And then passing over the neons to Jen to paint the lizard riders, I suggested again creating more contrast by using the bright yellow neon paint on all of the lizardman riders armor.
So when it came time to paint my lizardmen, I thought that they were painted in green, not yellow. These paints look exactly the same and I mistook it for the wrong color. So I ended up going over all of Dave's hard work in a green instead of a yellow. But hey, it didn't really matter in the end. I still think they look cool and the green's kind of bomb. I prefer green over yellow anyway, so.
And with all the neon paints done, we took the original base colors back and did a bit of cleanup, trying to hide any areas where we'd made mistakes with the neon or those pin washes had overflowed.
So for these models, I definitely wanted to base them in a jungle theme. They came with some really cool terrain, so I kind of wanted to play off that a little bit. I really love this texture paint called Dark Earth. I use it on a lot of different projects that we have here in the studio, so I really wanted to use this for their bases. Lastly, I definitely wanted to add a little bit of plant life to these bases, so I grabbed a couple of the laser cut plants we have from Gamer's Grass. You guys know how much I love these plants, so I grabbed a couple of tropical looking ones that I thought would fit right at home.
And with an SFX paint job like this and the lizardmen glued onto their dinosaur mounts, I think we should take a look at how the finished product turned up under the UV light.
Always, it is time to thank our lovely patrons for all of their support in help making awesome videos.
And thank you once again to One Page Rules for sponsoring the video. Make sure you go and check out their Patreon and also their My Mini Factory. Links are in the description. They make some awesome models and amazing games. I really encourage you to give it a shot.
If you'd like to become a patron, all of the links are down in the description below.
Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this little exploration into outback animals, lizards, dinosaurs, make sure you like and subscribe to stay up to date with Outback Dave's History Channel. Leave a comment in the video if you enjoyed this format, and if you'd like to see more Outback Dave and his hot takes on mammalian versus dinosaurian distinctions and differences between the two.
So we're all done with the project. So is this like a thing? Like, are you gonna keep doing this?
Could bloody be, Jen. Could bloody be.